All right, to make I-cord, you're going to take all but 5 needles out. You can make flat fabric by just raising the needles, but to make true I-cord, you need to make it with to where you can go all the way around your cylinder. And we're going to do a 5 needle I-cord. Now the thing that you need to remember about I-cord is that it doesn't need to have a lot of weight. So I've got 6 needles, there's 5. Alrighty, so I'm going to find my setup bonnet. And hang my setup bonnet on my needles. I'm going to start with waste yarn. I made this little center pull ball here, just out of a scrap. Don't need much. All right, now I want to be cranking forward, and I want to put my needles where I don't need to. All right, so here we go. Now notice I'm just holding down with my I'm just holding down with my hand, but if I go like that, see the yarn is a little floppy. So let's go ahead and engage the heel spring. Tighten up that tension. Okay. Now, make sure that your first needle is going to hit. On the true knit, you don't have to change anything in order to make I-cord. Alright, so there's my start. Now, so that I don't have to weave in any tails at the end, I'm going to start by an E-wrap cast on. Okay, and I'm going to need this tail, so I'm going to leave a tail, but I want to make it to where they're not live stitches, so I'm going to do an E-wrap. And what that means is with the yarn up, I'm going to just make cursive E's around the needles. You can make backward cursive E's, you can make forward cursive E's. Okay, now look here, I still have to engage my heel spring. That's going to straighten everybody up. Lower these needles, and the reason I'm doing this is so I don't have live stitches at the end of my I-cord. And even just a fork is kind of too heavy for I-cord, so I forgot to reset my counter. And you just crank and crank and crank. Now, once you get past 5 needles, sometimes the one that goes all the way around, see, you can see that in the back. Okay, you can see where that gap is. But as we wash this I-cord, not really wash it, I don't know. As we use it, it doesn't matter because for what I'm going to use this project for. If you don't like that big gap, there's 2 things you can do. You can make 4 needle I-cord, or you can move to a larger cylinder to where the stitches are closer together. A 96 would make the most beautiful I-cord, but typically I make it on a 72. I just had 60 handy. And I'm just holding down because you don't need that much downward pressure. Like I said, even a heel fork is too much downward pressure to get it to work right. And that's ooh, it popped out. Did you see that? So there you go. I-cord is a piece of cake. I've cranked all the rows that I need for my I-cord. So I'm going to cut a tail and take that out. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the last stitch. I'm just going to latch it off basically. Okay, that was loose, so I pulled it and tightened it. Then I take this needle out and I latch it through and add it to the next needle. Same thing. Latch it off. Add this stitch to the next needle. And then that way I don't have live stitches on the end of my I-cord. Okay. On the last one, we're going to go ahead and pull that through. And then, if you pull it through one more time, that's a knot. And I can use this tail to sew the little pom-pom on. Ta-da!